Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. It's Cheryl Lawson here. So as you know, I am traveling. I'm in beautiful Miami for a few days this week, attending, excuse me, attending a conference. And hopefully I'll learn even more to come back and share with you guys. But I definitely wanted to make sure that we got into the next level of our discussion, which is going to be Facebook. So we kind of covered the gamut with LinkedIn, and hopefully you're still kind of exploring and seeing what LinkedIn will do for you personally, and then seeing how for your businesses, whether that's something you want to work with a little bit more. Once we kind of get through the general platforms, we'll talk a little bit about ad platforms. But for now, I just want to talk about the setup of your personal profile, which, we talked about a little bit in, I think, the first session about how if I'm not your friend and I log into Facebook and I land on your page, or there's some search results with you in them, and when I click on your page, what should I see? So we're going to talk about that a little bit from a personal standpoint, and I'm going to try to help you kind of rearrange your Facebook page so that it has the kind of information that you want to have on your page for potential employers and maybe some collaborators, or however you want your information to show. So this is my Facebook profile. I am in the profile setting as if I were landing on my page. So this is how I want to kind of help you figure out like what you should show. So you can see I have a cover photo here. I have my profile photo here, and I can edit and do some other things here as well, but I want to keep going. I have my little intro tagline, which, a little more personal than my LinkedIn page, but that's okay, because I want personality to show here, and a little bit more fun on my Facebook page. So if you land on my Facebook page, you should know what to expect, right? So, and then here you see all of my jobs listing. And again, just like on LinkedIn, you want to make sure that if you're linking to where you work, that you're also linking to that page, right? So my education is still here, where I live, and these are things that I've actually I'm okay with having public because they are public information. So, and then you can see like a post, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this area here and who can actually see this. So if you went to my page right now, and I'm facebook.com/Cheryl Lawson, you would not see this photo. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Some kind of favorite photos, and Facebook has a thing where you can pick, your favorite photos up here in this section here. This is kind of reminiscent of MySpace, actually, where you can pick your top photos. They're just not your top friends, but these are your favorite photos that you want people to see. So we're also going to look at what size these images need to be for your profile pages. But let's talk just for a minute about what kind of content you want to be sharing on your own personal profile. So it is against Facebook's terms of service to use your personal profile for business. So does that make sense? So yes, you can share what you're doing and how you are doing it, but your personal profile, this page that is all about you, should have your real name. Facebook is not as strict about real names as, say, Google was with Google Plus, but if you're using a nickname or a business name, you're more likely to either get shut down or have Facebook suspend you for a little while if they find out that you're not using your actual name, and they may ask you to do some other stuff to prove that you are who you say you are. One example as to why they're doing that, and particularly with the ad platform. If you now are running political ads or even ads with sensitive topics, I think one of them is housing. Then you have to verify to Facebook that you are who you say you are, that you're a real person, and there's some steps that you can take to do that. And we'll get into that later on once we start talking about ad platforms, hopefully. But in general, you want to use your Facebook profile page for personal use. Can you post business things to your personal profile? Of course you can, but there's some ways to do it without being without violating the terms of service, and then two, without being spammy to your friends and followers and people who follow you. Um, so we'll talk about that here in a second, but let's talk first about your privacy and the privacy settings for Facebook. And what I mean by that is, again, if I land on your page as a potential employer or somebody wanting to collaborate with you or whatever it is, if I'm not your friend, what should I see? So, and how do you change that? So remember a couple weeks ago or classes ago, I was showing you that Facebook layout was changed. So I went back to the old layout just because I wasn't sure that either of you had the new layout. And I probably will go back to it because I kind of like that better. But so you click on this little drop-down menu from your profile. And what I see here, of course, you guys probably won't see that, but I see all of the pages that I manage for other businesses. But what I want you to go to is this area, settings. Excuse me. So you'll see here in the settings, it's just kind of general settings, your name, your username. You can change this, I think, up to twice. Your public user, same as address. You can change it a couple of times maximum. So if your facebook.com/whatever your name is isn't what your Facebook profile is, then you can change it in this section. And you can, I think you can change it up to a couple of times. Because I'm on my own page, I see all of my contact information, my email, and then here you can decide who you want to show your email address, right? If they're, if people are going to download your information, allow friends to include my email address in download your information. So, so you can download your own, you can keep all of your data from Facebook, right? So while we talk about, I think I mentioned last class, that if you're not the customer for Facebook, you're the product, but you do have access to all of your information. So, and then that can include your email addresses, right? If you so choose. Okay, and you might want to, you might consider doing this, particularly if you have used your personal profile for business and you're going to transition over to an actual business page. You might want to download all of your data just to have photos backed up, videos, comments from people, and you can't import them over to your page. But having access to that is really a good thing, because then you can start to go back and see which photos or posts got more comments. There are a lot of people who used their personal profile for business early on, and then either hit limits of how many friends they could have, or they've just been suspended or something from Facebook. So I'm actually going to turn this off, right? And I'll close that. And then this is new. This happens in the past couple years, decide what happens to your account after you pass away. So, a lot of people have Facebook pages and accounts. And what happens when you pass away is that your account is just there. And it could either be upsetting to people, or you can decide to use it as um, a memorial site for your loved ones or yourself. When after you pass away, you can assign friends or family that you want to have access to your account to create basically a memorial account. You can also request that your account be deleted after you pass away. And then here's when I talked about um, confirming your identity. Hopefully I talked about that. I had to restart this this video a couple times because of the air conditioner noise. Hopefully it's not too loud for you. But so if you are going to run ads, you will have to confirm your identity with Facebook. And then you can kind of go through, especially if you're going to run ads about political issues, social issues, housing, things that Facebook deems sensitive topics, right? Because they've been burned. So Facebook got into a lot of hot water because of the interference in elections in 2016, and by a lot of bots and fake news organizations, and an organization out of London that was using our data to and some of the loopholes in Facebook to basically, kind of feed the beast, right? Most of us in our social profiles have pretty close knit communities where we really are only following people who we like or who think like us. A lot of times when particularly politics, we tend to tune out people who don't necessarily believe or think the way we do. So there was some areas within the platform of Facebook that were able to be exploited, right? Because everybody knows that you're in your own bubble. And so these companies were using things like those quizzes that everybody takes, like, which Beatle would you be? Or, which Backstreet Boy would you be? To that data to then determine who would be the person most likely to believe a news story about a particular political candidate or political party that was or was not true, and whether or not you would be the type of person that would investigate it and find out if it was actually legitimate. So Facebook has paid huge fines, and I'm sure we'll be paying for that for years. So that's what's happening with a lot of the rules and regulations around whether you can confirm who you say you are on Facebook, right? All right, so let's go over here on the left to where it says privacy. So this is where you can make changes based on who can see your posts. So let's just go, this is who can see future posts. So you can click here to edit that. And this would be how your general settings are. You absolutely want to go check this if you haven't. Who can see future posts? So right now, mine is defaulted to public because every now and again I'll change things to a public to make sure it's public. That means whether we're friends or not, anybody on Facebook or off Facebook can see that post that's public. Whether your friends can see it, and then eventually friends of friends, right? So if you tag somebody or they comment, their friends will also see that post. Friends except for acquaintances. So I have lists of people, and we can talk about that a little bit more when I get back to the page and show you that post. So I have lists of people. Looks like Facebook's going to get rid of lists. So all that work I did creating specific lists of where to put people. But let's just say, for example, I have a business associate who I don't know personally, but wants to connect with me. And that happens all the time, right? You come to a conference or you go to to an event of any kind and you meet somebody, and one of the ways that people connect is through Facebook. Um, in business, it's probably more likely to be LinkedIn, but every now and again, you'll get somebody who will want to connect with you on Facebook, and that's fine. And then when you do, you can actually categorize that person into lists. Facebook had a default list of people in the Tulsa area. So if their profile said they lived in Tulsa, they would just automatically be added to the Tulsa list. And then I could create additional lists so that I could say, okay, this person is part of my family. This person is someone that I dance with. This is a former student, and so on and so on. So you can create as many lists as you want. There's another section that you can add somebody as an acquaintance. And I'll show you here in a few minutes how you can then post so that only the people you want to see that particular post will see it. And it's kind of fun. So that's friends except acquaintances. Or you can select only me. So when I do some tests, post, I will test it to see if a link works or something of that nature. And I don't necessarily want it to be public. I just want to see what it looks like. Let's say it's a blog post, what it looks like when it posts to Facebook. So I can only show this to me, or let's just say I want to get something, out of my head and onto Facebook or any kind of document, but I don't necessarily want it to be public right away. Maybe something has happened to make it not appropriate to post in the day, or something tragic, or something that that doesn't warrant it to be published on that particular day. Or maybe just like today, I'm traveling and I don't necessarily want people to know I'm away from my house. So I might post it and share it only with me. And then when I get home, I will change it to one of these other settings. So, and then the more is where you can share with specific friends or lists, right? And I'll show you how that works later. So I would suggest that you change your default to friends. You can always change that setting for each post that you post on Facebook. So you can change that setting for every time you post, or you can set it as default, and that's how it will be forever, right? So you don't have to worry about whether a post is public or it's just your friends. What we see a lot of times now is somebody will post something that they got from someplace else, or a screenshot, or even just an opinion about something, and people will say, hey, can you make this post public so that I can share it? And that's one way that you can do that. You can go in, you can make it originally for friends, and then go in after you've posted it and change it to public or something other than that, right? So that's that section, your activity. Who can see your activity? The next is asking whether or not you want to review the posts that you are tagged in, right? So people will tag you in photos. Some people will tag me in photos that I'm not in, right? So if it's a business colleague or something, this is a funny thing that one of the people I used to work with tagged me in because she wanted me to see it, right? I don't necessarily want this on my timeline. So I have mine set to review posts that I'm tagged in, right? And so, because I don't necessarily want everything that I'm tagged in to be post on my page. You can limit the audience for posts that you've shared with friends in the past. So you can change that setting to limit past posts. Yeah. Okay, now how people find you and contact you. This is probably pretty important. So who can see your friend, who can send you friend requests? And that's pretty important. One, for a safety issue, I think definitely for women, is that you may not want to have your profile public, or you wouldn't want just anybody to be able to send you a friend request. So you can change that. So the only friends or friends of friends well, friends can't send it because friends are already friends, but friends of friends can send you friend requests, or you can change it to everyone. And mine is, of course, set to friends of friends. Who can see your friends list? This is something that I think you should not have public. My personal opinion that you don't necessarily want to have, because some of our friends are really family members who, I don't necessarily want you to know that I'm connected with Uncle Bobby because Uncle Bobby's kind of crazy, but, he's still family. So you definitely want to uh, not have your friends list to be public. Not to say that you have anything to be ashamed of, but I just think it's something that should be tied to people who are friends. So who can see your friends list? You can, again, public, friends accept associates, specific friends can see your friends list. Only you can change that to, nobody knows who your friends are, or you can make it custom, which means you can invite certain friends or lists and that kind of thing, right? So I have mine set to friends. You can change it to only you can see who your friends are. But it's completely up to you how you want to do that one. I would just suggest that at the very least, you move it down to friends. Um, who can look you up using the email address that you provided? So remember back on the other page where we looked at our um, general email address. So you can find out, or you can determine who can look you up on Facebook using that email address. So you can do, again, everyone, friends of friends, friends, only me. So, there are tons of reasons why you wouldn't necessarily want to have everybody looking you up via your email address. One, because you use your email address in so many different avenues and it's accessible to so many people, whether you are actually friends with them or doing business with them. So let's say you sign up, every time you go to Bed Bath and Beyond, you have to give your email address. So you don't necessarily want just, a retailer or a marketer or somebody that they've sold their list to. Not saying they do, but let's just say they do, going in and looking you up by the email address that you've used, right? So I just tend to turn that down. If you're using an email address for Facebook that isn't like your most commonly used, you may want that. Like if it's an email address that just your friends and family know, then sure, you might want to let people look you up, then change it to everyone, right? So that everyone can look you up on Facebook by that particular email address. Or if you want to use your school ID, for example, email address, for example, and allow your fellow classmates to look you up using that email address, I think that's fine. But you may just be aware of that and act accordingly. As you can see, mine is set to friends of friends. Who can look you up using the phone number you provided? I have the same thing. You can change that as well. Do you want search engines outside of Facebook to link to your profile? So that is really critical for your personal brand SEO. And I selected no. I think I've gone back and forth with this. I'm not necessarily wanting my personal Facebook profile to be searchable on search sites, Google, Bing, whatever, and any just kind of random site. I'd rather them go to my business pages, right? I'm not opposed to it, but I'd rather them go to uh, where I want them to go to, right? Which is either LinkedIn or to my business pages. And this has been a setting I've had for a long time, and I may consider changing that here down the road, but for now I'm pretty confident there, right? So so let's think about that, right? So go to your privacy settings right now. So remember we went to this little drop down here, and then to settings, and then this is privacy. You can also go to those general sections as well to find out which phone number and email address that you have listed on Facebook. And you can also opt in or out of that facial recognition, the thing that Facebook says, hey, is this you in this photo? Or when you upload a photo, it says, do you want to tag XYZ person, right? So take some time to update your profile. You will have an opportunity to share your personal profile with me. Again, you don't have to be my friend, but I just want to only be able to see the things that you want me to see, which is your profile photo, your cover photo, your current job and school, if you so choose. And your intro, if you want your about section, that's fine. But any of the details that you don't want the public to be able to see, if they're not your friends, you can go in and change it. So here is a post that I did today this is from a Instagram post. So I have connected Facebook and Instagram. And when I share a post, so on the Instagram app, you won't be able to see my phone anyway, but on Instagram app where you post a photo and you said, do you want to send it to Facebook? Well, I have that setting turned on, not automatically, but when I want to, I do it. But on Facebook, I have given certain permissions to Instagram. For example, if it comes from Instagram, it's automatically set to only me. It's a personal preference. Sometimes I just want that post to go, just like I just said, I'm traveling, I'm out of town. I posted it to Instagram, no problem. But for Facebook, I didn't necessarily want that post to go live today. I will more than likely make it go live tomorrow, but you can go in remember this post posted 7 hours ago. So I can now go in, I can either edit it here. I've already changed some of it. I can tag myself and my friend, and I can turn off notifications. I can change the text because remember, this was something that posted on Instagram. So all the tags and hashtags that come from Instagram automatically came over to Facebook. So let's just say I want to get rid of the hashtags because, right? I mean, while Facebook is getting a little bit better with hashtags, they don't mean as much. And I'll tell you what I mean by that here in a second, because of the search field, right? So let's just say I want to search a hashtag. Well, that's not fair because I use this one all the time. Let's do OSU Tulsa. And so Facebook actually utilizes hashtags for search, but you don't have to use the hashtag. So I could have just done OSU Tulsa and the same results or better results actually come up, right? So the hashtag, just for people who've used the hashtag, when I just use the terminology, the OSU Tulsa spelled out, then I get, hey, the pages and pages that are associated, alumni, and then I can go in and look at like who is it from and post. But with the hashtag, I'm only finding where the hashtag has been used. Of course, that's me a couple times. There's two of them that are posted from me, and one where one of my friends has shared the post that I did. So, and that's fine, but you don't necessarily need to load your post on Facebook. with hashtags, just because people aesthetically, people don't necessarily like to see hashtags on Facebook. So I would limit it to maybe one or two, at the most three, if you're using hashtags. And that goes as particularly as well if you're going to be sharing posts from, let's say, Instagram or Twitter to Facebook. You want to make sure that you're speaking the right language, right? When you're on Facebook, we know that people aren't trying to read through a bunch of hashtags. They want to see your photo or video or whatever it is, and they want to see your caption and your text. And so that they can either engage with what you're doing or click to get to wherever you want them to go or to read the article that you've linked them to. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. So hashtags good, just not as many and often on Facebook. Okay. So let's move along. Okay, so let's move over to pages, right? So your business page and how you would set up a page if you don't already. But let's look at how a page should be set up versus or as similar to how you would have your profile page. So this is the Marathon's a Facebook page. In fact, I was going through checking to make sure that we follow all of these things, and a couple I had to change. So I'll show you kind of the things that you need to have, and I'll give you a resource to where these sizes are. So let's say, okay, so here's first things first. You want to have a cover photo, and your cover photo, along with any photo that you post, particularly if you post cover and profile. I know that if you're posting photo albums, that it's difficult to add a caption to every single photo in the album, especially if you're doing a bunch of them, because it's not easy like it was with Flickr that we watched the other day. But you can change your cover photo and your profile photo. So here's cover photo. And you can see there is a description and then a call to action. You can always edit this. You can, of course, tag photos. Now, it's really interesting about tagging. You can usually tag a business, but if you're not personally connected with the person and you are managing this particular page, you won't be able to tag them. So you have to be kind of friends with. But if it's a business, let's say we want to. Let's see, we're going to tag. So look, I can tag any of my friends here, but then I can also mention a business, right? I can add a location if I wanted to. Well, that's not Miami Beach, but it will look for, if you have data on your photo, it'll look for the data on your photo, or it will use the location from where you are, right? So I'm currently in Florida, so it's looking at that information. All right, so you have this. You can see now that when it was published, when the post was published, when it was edited. You can also look at the edit history. And like I said, I just changed it a few minutes ago because I remembered what we had on there before was about our price increase, and that should not have still been up there. So I went in and changed it. Everybody can see your edit history. So if you go in and make a mistake and edit it, it's okay, but people are going to see that you made those edits to the post. So for me, it was just, okay, that price increase is kind of old news, so I wanted to update it. I don't have a problem with people seeing that the previous caption was about a price increase. If you are managing a Facebook business page, and let's say there are multiple people who are managing, and we actually have our copywriter who will post to Facebook from time to time, or I will upload a draft and then she will go in and write the caption and then post it. But you'll see who published it and on what day, right? So if it's something that you don't want posted, then you will have you will be able to reach out to that person and like, oh, that's not what we wanted. It'll also tell you if you've posted or if the post came from a third-party app like Hootsuite or Tailwind app. I think we talked about Tailwind a little bit last week. So it'll tell you where the post came from. So for example, here we go. So this one was posted today, and it came from Tailwind. And really, for me as the manager, I want to make sure that the posts are coming from the right place, and the either this particular connected app, it has permission because I've given it permission, but that it's posting the way you want it to. But it also, if the question arises, where did this post come from? Now you know where it comes from, right? So you also want to have a profile photo, and your profile photo should also have a description and a call to action. So if nothing else, these two particular images should have a caption and a call to action, because these are things that, one, everybody will see when you, let me go back. So we've talked a little bit about algorithms, right? So Facebook's algorithm is designed to only show us the things that Facebook deems or that we have proven that we're most interested in. One of the reasons that let's say, hey, I already like that page, but I never see any of their posts. If you don't engage with that particular page or person, because it applies to your personal connections as well, within a certain amount of time, and I think it's around 30 days, then you're not going to see, you're not likely to see just a regular post from that person or from that company or that page that you follow. If you interact with that page or group or person on a regular basis, or if you have within the past 30 days or so, Facebook will then say, oh, well, she's interested in that. I will make sure that we show that in her feed. So, but one of the two of the ways around that algorithm issue are your profile video and your profile, your header and your profile image. And I said video because I want to change this to a video here really quickly. And let's see if I can do it while we're talking. I may not be able to. What did I do with the video? I don't have it on my laptop now, but I do want to go in and update that cover photo. So here's one way to do that, is a couple of ways. And I am going to change this to a video so you can go in and watch this a little bit later. So if I want to change this cover image, I can go in and do change cover, and I can choose from photos that I have already posted to the page. All right, so you can go to other cover photos that I've used. I can do Instagram photos, photos that I've uploaded via the mobile, from my mobile app, or any of the other albums that I've created over the however long of the life of this particular account. So I can pick any of these photos and make them a cover photo, okay? Or I can create a slideshow, which means there's multiple photos that then will have a slider and that they will slide through a reader. So you can let Facebook choose which photos those are. Let's just see what Facebook says here. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, this one, not great. So again, you can reposition the photos here. So let's say I don't really want that photo there. So I'm going to go here and remove it. And I don't necessarily need two medal photos, but I do want people to see that this is my first marathon medal. I don't need that one. And so here I will go choose from photos. I will go to cover photos because I still like the old cover photo that I used. So let's go there, add that one. And then we'll go choose from photos. Yep, there's a couple that I liked from earlier. So this is a good start photo. And then again, if I want to raise that up a little bit more, or let's say I want more of the branding, but I kind of just like that photo there. And then let's say I want that one to be first. Then, oh, that's really a great picture. It's not a great profile photo, and I'll show you why, but I still like it, and I'll leave it there for a minute. So now I've got a few photos that I really like. Let's see, let's choose one more since we have one more. Let's go to, where are my timeline? Oh, here we go, timeline photos. And let's see if there's a photo. Yeah, so that one was talking about our kids program. So I think we'll make sure we keep that one. All right, so, all right, now all I have to do is go save. And it probably takes a while. Maybe it's a good thing that I didn't do the video because that would have taken even longer. All right, so now as people come on to the page, they will have the opportunity to see the slideshow as opposed to either the photo or the video. But you can also upload a video. You can choose from existing videos from your page, just like we just did with photos, or you can just start all over. Now, since I went in and changed those, I need to go and check the captions, because remember I selected photos that had been previously uploaded. So I can go through and utilize these, or I can upload directly from a photo album, right? And I might do that with this particular photo here in a bit, because that one already had comments about when we posted it, and it was about a specific topic. So I don't necessarily want that conversation to happen again, because it's past the time for that. So I might even just go in and re-upload this photo so that it can start fresh with new comments. Right? Same thing with your profile photo. And so let's go over to real quick. I'm going to head over to this screen, and I'll share this in our Canvas. And so this particular document talks about the size for each of these photos. And this is a really good tool. There are several on the web that really talk about what size your cover photo should be, your profile photo. If you are doing a group cover photo, all of these things that we use on Facebook. If you're doing an event, what size that image should be for your event page, and so on. So I will add this one and maybe one more that I often use. But this one I like because it has all of the social networks. So you've got Twitter. Okay, so Twitter, like the cover photo for Twitter, for your Twitter profile, and for your profile image for Twitter. And so it's particularly if you're, let's say you're having somebody design something for you, like a graphic designer, or you're designing it yourself, it's really easy to either tell somebody, hey, we want it Facebook cover or Facebook, whoop, somebody just dropped a whole bunch of stuff. So whether you want it to be a profile image, a cover image, or you want it to be in your feed, you can see the different sizes, right? So when I'm working with my graphic designers, typically now I just can tell them I want it to be Instagram size or Facebook feed size or cover size, and they know what that is. But for those of you who are just getting started, this is a really good resource for that. And again, I will put that in the canvas so that you can have that as a resource. But you can also Google um, social media image or graphic sizes, and you'll find multiple charts with how to do it. And then you also want to just kind of play with, when you create something, particularly if you're going to put text on it, you want to make sure that it's showing up, or if you need to resize it or reposition it so that either the text does show or doesn't show, depending on what you want. So make sure, and it will automatically resize for mobile. So just make sure that even on mobile that you can see exactly what you want to see there. The other thing you want to have on your business page is your call to action button. You typically will see this here. You can either do a get subscribers to your email list. Sometimes we've made this a registration button. In fact, let me check and make sure this is correct. So people can either contact you, so you can make it an email, send a message, and that just makes it send a message on Messenger. You can add a phone number, all of that good stuff, right? You can also have your button say learn more, and then that would lead them either to watch a video or to go to a particular link. I think this one does, if they want to do more. To shop with you, if you're doing something like a Shopify page that you want people to go to and shop, or if you have offers, um, Facebook has the opportunity to make an offer. Let's say we want to offer people $10, a $10 off promo code. And if they click on this, they'll see all of the offers that we have live, right? And we don't have any right now. Join the community. So if you have a Facebook group that you want people to visit, then that would be where you want them. So I'll do that really quickly. So now let's just say I want people to join the community, and the button says visit group. Oops, sorry. And then it'll ask me to select a group. And we have multiple groups for Route 66. Most of them are public groups. A couple of them are private. These are our ambassadors. They're kind of our special people who help us promote our event. This is another private group that we invite people to if they meet this particular criteria. But this is our public group on Facebook. So if we were to have people join, this would be the one that we want people to join. And here, let me see if I can edit what that says. Some of them you can, and some of them you cannot. Nope. Yeah. Cannot change what it says, but I mean, visit group is fine. I would have maybe just added a little bit, like visit our Facebook group or something like that, but it's okay. So now, so you can actually test the button and make sure that it goes to where you want it to go. And we'll talk Facebook groups later on, and what you might want to, how you might want to utilize Facebook groups from a company, a brand standpoint, and whether or not that's something that you want to consider. We'll talk about that on Thursday. Just remind me, we'll talk about Facebook groups on Thursday. So that's the buttons. You want to have that information. You also want to have your story, your about section completed. So um, there's a couple places you can do that, but you can go here. If you go to your story from the regular profile, you can see, oh, this needs to be updated too, right? Look at me. All right, so you can go here, and what I'll do, so that, let's go here. This would be a good opportunity here. No, about. So our story still had 2019 information on it. Oh, bad Cheryl. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go to our about page on the website, and that is not date specific, so we're good there. So, and I just want to copy and paste the about section on our website because we just updated that here last year, and make sure that is on our page. This is a cover photo that I'm going to keep. So again, I can adjust it so that it fits the window that I want it to fit, or I can remove it and upload a different one. I'm going to stay here for now. And then you hit publish the update. Of course, this is going public on our page right now, but hopefully we're the only ones where it's just us being up. Nobody's going to really see that. But again, when you post an update to your cover photo, this is a third thing that people see. Let's get that. So you can see the updated photos here, and I'll show you how we get to that as well. And then there you go. So your update is here, and then you can see more. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, I need to change that like now. I'm gonna change this cover photo. Yeah, let's do this. That's not what I want to do. Let's edit the slideshow. That makes more sense. And I want to upload a photo. I know I have photos here. Let's go to 2019. And this is, so I keep most, if not all, of our photos on Dropbox. So these are Dropbox folders where we keep all of our images. So I think that was, yep, that was one of her photos. I don't know where every single photo is, but this one was one that was pretty popular. So I still like that photo. I just didn't necessarily want to have the conversation that had happened before when we posted originally to still be happening. So I wanted to start afresh, but still use that same photo. And if this doesn't make sense, what I just did, let's bring it up in class on Thursday, and I'll talk you through how that happens, right? So when you use a cover photo or a profile photo from something you have already used before, that the caption and the comments from that post will come through to the profile, right? Or cover photo. All right. So let's, it's getting, this is not the brightest section of the hotel, but it really is a great business center. So I love having this here. So, okay, let's move to, so we got your call to action, your cover photo, your profile photo, your call to action or your button. You also want to make sure that you have your profile username set. So I'm going to go to our settings here. And this is everything that you can actually see from your business page. And general information, again, page visibility, all of these things will can be edited to, let's say for some reason you have a Facebook page for your business, but something has changed, or maybe some ownership's changed, or the direction has changed, and you want to temporarily unpublish the page. You can go here and unpublish it, make your changes, and then go back live. Visitor post, anyone can publish to our page and add photos. That you can turn that off if you find that the audience isn't respecting your rules, or things that you don't necessarily want to be shared. Right? And then there's just every bit of things that you can edit and change for your website. So there's like a profanity filter, age restrictions, particularly if you're in alcohol or even in the cannabis industry, you might want to have some age restrictions. All right. All right, let's go over to your templates. Okay. Templates and tabs. So page info, all that stuff you need to make sure that you have corrected, and I'll go to that. But what I wanted to do is to show you when you're setting up your page, you can select a template. And so ours is nonprofit, but you can select any of these templates: a venue, a business, a politician, a service, restaurants and cafes, shopping, a page just for videos, and then standard. And you can see when you select one of those, and this is the nonprofit, you see which sections you have here, right? So video, photo, live video, photos, and you can put these in any order that you want them to be in. So you saw where on the page, the video showed up first, and then there were photos, and then some other, and then posts. Hang on one second, a little noisy. Okay, so you can see where I've just rearranged what shows up. Sometimes I will have events be first, but you want people to get to whatever it is, particularly when we have our 2020 Facebook events set up, then most certainly the events will be first, then maybe photos. During the event, we typically go to live videos first, because we're doing a lot more behind the scenes or live action stuff in real time during the event. And then whatever else you want. So community and group. Community is anybody who's mentioned you or tagged you, that'll show up on your page. Reviews, and these may need to be higher. I mean, I've kind of worked around a bunch of these. Your about section, you're going to see that our story on the right hand side anyway. So hang on, there's someone being a little loud, but anyway, so you can see, let's go, there's no save on that. So let's go back to the page, and you'll be able to see the change that I just made. All right. There we are. Okay, so events. So we haven't created the events for 2020 yet, because we're still coming up with verbiage and graphics that we want to use. So, but when we do, now events will be first, then photos, then video, and then posts. And you can see here's groups, there's reviews. Yep. Okay. page transparency. This is something you want to consider utilizing when you are doing your competitive analysis. If you want to go and look at, what are my competitors doing, you can go to the page transparency and get like when the page was created, whether there have been any name changes. You can also see from here what ads a particular page is running. So if you know that your competitor is running ads or you suspect that they are, you can actually go in and see all of that detail in that section, right? And we'll look at more of that again once we get to looking at ads. So let's go back to settings. All right. So there are a lot of things here that I won't go into today, but I want you to, if you are managing a page, I want you to just kind of become familiar with it. If not, that's okay. We'll go through a little bit more of the things that I think you will need to know to determine how you want to run your own page, right? One of the things that you probably want to set are page roles, particularly if you're going to be in the social media business. If you are the if you want to be a social media manager or director, so you want to set who has permission to do what. And so we have people with administrative roles, we have editors on our page. That's actually a picture of me, but this is the me. So we have people who have admin access. And if you have admin access on your page, that person can add and delete any other person. So if you are not sure about the person, or if you're hiring somebody, you may want to consider either having a backup admin that person doesn't know about, or that you make them an editor. And an editor can publish, and you can publish and send messages as the page. A couple of things that they won't have access to are kind of the business things. They won't be able to see some of the, I think they'll see all the insights, but they won't have access to like your ad platform and things like that. So they won't be able to make changes or even add additional editors. So, and then while we're here, this is where you would add somebody. So you would need to, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. This is where you would add the person's email address, and then you can then decide whether or not they are a moderator, an advertiser, an analyst, an admin, or if you want to name them something else. Right? You can also see that section if you make it public. If you go to the page, you can kind of find out who the admins are on that page. Right? So let's go to. Let's see. That's not what I wanted. And this is a section where you can go through and see people who like your page. If you have, this page has, I think 40,000 some odd followers now, or people who like the page. So it's not necessarily beneficial for me to go through and see like names of people. But if you have a spurt of people following, or if you have a smaller group now, it might even be a good idea to go through and see who the people are, maybe what they have in common with your brand, if they might be a competitor. This is where you would go and see information on people who like your page. Right? You can block people from this place, right? You can remove that person from your page likes, or you can ban them. So if you get somebody just being unruly or going against what your rules for your page are, or you've set, then you can go in. Or if it's a competitor and you know it's a competitor and you don't want them in your business, you can ban them for your page. I don't recommend that, but you can do it. And then let's go down to Instagram. And this is where you you want to connect your business Instagram account to your business page on Facebook. And this is a pretty easy setup. So I'm already connected. But what we'll do in class is we'll connect another page. So I don't want to mess this up and uh, and then have something go awry with our ads, because we do have some ads going on. So I don't want to disconnect it. But I'll show you how to connect your Facebook and Instagram accounts together, and you'll see when we talk more about ads and what that means. Uh, Facebook badges is kind of new. We can discuss that a little bit once we find out what kinds of businesses that you're going to be working on with your project, and we'll talk about whether or not that's something that I think you should be utilizing. So, all right. I think that is good for your page setup. There is, I think did we talk about the about section? No. So we did talk about your story, but if you are in, well, you can look here in the about section, and then this information includes your story, but also general category. When was the page founded? And if you're creating a new page now, let's say for your brand, or you're suggesting that the business that you're using for your project creates a page, then this is the kind of information that you would need to have. Like, you would automatically set up the business was founded in whether it's the day you set it up, or if you need to backdate it and say we were founded in 1900 or whatever it is, right? And then any of your contact information and all of that, when you go to set up your page, it'll all be there, right? And then let's go to one place. Oh, one account that I think everybody should be following is facebook.com/Facebook, right? And if you put in Facebook, I think it'll automatically change to app. But and then Facebook for Business. Facebook Business is another one that I want you to Facebook for Business to connect with and follow, because they do share quite a bit of great tips and suggestions and videos and case studies from people who are using Facebook for their brands. So looks like they're moving some furniture around. So I'm going to move this along pretty quickly, but let's just real quick. We were looking at, well, we can go to SM Tulsa. Right, so I'm searching SM Tulsa. There's the conference page. We have cover letter. We have profile image. We have a caption with a call to action. We have a button. And so this particular button, for most people that are attending our conference, they mostly have questions, right? So yes, I want them to register, but I also want, when they're on our Facebook page, to be able to reach out to me and ask a question. So this actually sends people to Messenger. We do have an event set up. So if you go to that, you can see, there's the event page. And we have our ID, right? We're facebook.com/SM-Tulsa, and that kind of shows up there. And your name of your page and your ID, or your username, can be different. So I'm going to end this, because I know this has been long. Hopefully you've been pausing along the way to go in and make some changes to your Facebook pages or accounts. But let's go to my personal profile again, and let's go. all the way. Oops, that's not it. Wasn't in my shortcuts. Now I can't find it because I have two different views. So now if I go to all of the pages that I manage, so if I add you, oh, there's my friend. If I add you as an admin on one of my pages, oops, well, I think Facebook is saying you're doing too much while you're not at home. All right, we may have jumped the shark here. So here's what I'm going to suggest. So we're on the Facebook for Business page again. So let's just say you want to start or you want to create your Facebook page for your business. The first thing you want to do, and there is a section in there that you can go to create a page, but since Facebook wouldn't let me go, we're on another page. It doesn't matter whose page, but you'll see this on the left-hand side that says create a page. And then you'll click here, and Facebook will take you through what type of page is it? Is it a community? Is it a business or a brand? This is probably where most of you will fall. What's your page name? What category? And it'll take you through step by step to create your page. Right? All right, so I think that's all you probably feel like you have a brain room for now. And so sorry for rambling, but hey, that's what I do, even when I'm traveling. But I will stop there. So what I will have you all do is go in and update your own personal profiles between now and Thursday. I will set a section in for an assignment. It won't be graded. It'll just go towards your class participation and assignments, but it's not an official assignment. But I do want to see your Facebook profile. It will count towards your personal profiles. I forgot that Facebook is one of those things. So it'll count towards that. I may put an amount on it, but between now and Thursday, go through and check your privacy settings and fix those so that when I go to your page profile, that I only see those things: your cover photo, your profile image, where you work. If you want to have a bio, I don't want to see who you're friends with. And maybe I will see a post, maybe I want it. That's your call. Maybe I only see one post that's public, and it's very into who you are or into what you want to do career-wise, right? So positive, something maybe professional, or something lighthearted would be okay and appropriate. All right. So I will put that in the class area in Canvas. I'll also add that image size. Remember, on Thursday, I want to see your business, who your business is, what the scope is, and we'll start talking about those, because what we'll do for the rest of the semester, as we talk about each of these profiles and some of the things, is I'll start to spend a little bit more time with you on the business that you chose, and we'll start making some decisions based on who we know they are, who their customers are, what their products are. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll be in conferences most of tomorrow. So, but I will have access to email, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. All right. Thank you all so much. We'll see you on Thursday.